Hello, how are you today? Do you want to dive into a book that might just surprise you, whether it becomes your next favorite or one you might skip? Let's find out what readers are saying about it.
Beatrice, who has 70 likes, says 4.5. Thank you, Stephanie Archer, for the arc. I was really excited for this book. The fake dating trope is my favorite, so I had high expectations. Also because of the dynamic between the characters. While the second half of the book was amazing, this first half was oak. Let me explain. Alexei and Georgia hate each other and argue most of the time. But both characters' words were really mean at the beginning. Especially Alexei's, whose comments were borderline sexist. Then, when we get to their own povs, we either know that they don't mean those things or they fantasize about the other in bed, so it kind of pushed me off the narrative, and I thought about DNFING. I knew that the second half was better. So I kept reading. And I loved it. Their development was so good and their new dynamic was heartwarming. Georgia was always caring for Alexei, especially when he got hurt during hockey. But what sold me was him spoiling her with gifts and mostly with flowers. Each of them had a different meaning. At first I couldn't feel the chemistry between them. But at the end it was clear they were made for each other. I also appreciated that there was no third act breakup. They both were reluctant about such a commitment because of previous relationships, but they worked it out. So yes, I didn't enjoy much the first half, but the second made up for it. Update: I've been selected for the arc Alexei Marriage of Convenience. Kicking my feet. RN. Bouquet, who has 108 likes, says, I am obsessed. My wife count 80 times his heart rate picks up whenever he's around. Her his heart rate picks up whenever he's around her. It was literally the most adorable thing I've seen in my life. His watch kept beeping whenever she was around because his heart rate went crazy. Please, I need him. He sent her a different flower every day. For months, he sent her a different flower every day for months. All flowers had a different meaning. Frustration, love, friendship. He confessed his feelings for her every day. He retired because seeing him get hurt makes her sad. He retired because seeing him get hurt makes her sad. This is how you write enemies to lovers. X Marriage of Convenience. Plus seeing my babies Rory, Piper, Hazel, James, my loves, I missed them. I can't wait for next book. Need to see Alexei as dad in next book. I can't close my eyes around you. Georgia, her mouth curves, eyes sparkling. Because you can't trust me, because I don't want to miss a second of this. Anyways, that's all. It would be cool if you guys read this. Stephanie never let me down so far, so I have high hopes. Thanks to publisher for the arc. Maddie, who has 65 likes, says 4.25. Where do I even start? This book was so good. Like I am in love. These two were everything. They're definitely my faves in the series. Georgia, I love her. She's so fiery and determined, but also so freaking sweet. Her confidence was amazing to read about. And I loved how she never backed down from Alexei. She felt so real to me. And I honestly just wanted to be her friend. Alexei, he was everything. Listen. This man bought her a different type of flower every single day. Every single day. Honor, I love him. Was he mean at times? Yes. But I could see why he was mean to her at times. Their reasons for hating each other was silly, and OMG. His heart rate picks up every time she's around. Like, please. He's so gone for her now. Let's talk about their relationship. They hate each other but had to get married. Sold. Their dynamic was everything. The tension, the banter, the little moments they tried to hide. It was so good seeing them fall for each other. Even when they were both fighting it so hard. Oh, also, he retired. BC Prairie, don't let me down. Koisti, who has 18 likes, says 4 Nyoy Kluben stars spicy level .55. These two don't banter. These two bicker like an old married couple. You know what I think whenever I see you wearing my ring. Georgia, I think. Mine. I think. That's my wife. Alexei Volkov needs a wife. He's close to retirement from the NHL and, with his Russian heritage and work visa status, he's worried that without a new contract, his entire family could be deported. So, marrying a Canadian citizen would secure his and his family's future. Georgia Green needs a husband. Even though she was estranged from her extremely wealthy grandfather, he left her a pretty sizable inheritance on the condition that she marry to claim it. She doesn't want the money for herself. She needs it for a sports rehabilitation program that hasn't been able to get sufficient funding to stay open. So they strike a deal. Get married. Stay married for just long enough for him to get his visa and her to get the money. Then walk away. Easy. Especially since they can't stand each other. The only rule: no falling in love. Which should NT be a problem. Because again, they hate each other, so that will never happen. I have loved both of these characters since they were introduced in the previous novels. So I was very excited and squealing when I realized it was finally a chance to get Georgia and Alexei's book. Georgia is a strong female character who has a few obsessions. Mostly shoes, her bunnies, the Vampire Diaries, and the soccer team she coaches. She also really cares about her job in helping the recovery of her patients. She is incredibly kind, generous, and hardworking. Georgia is the type of person who doesn't let the opinions and thoughts of others impact her. She lets them think what they want and stays true to herself. Alexei is very grumpy and he is very stubborn in his ways and has a very specific idea of the type of person that Georgia is. Materialistic, high maintenance, and spoiled rotten. A lot of what he deals with in this book is overcoming that stubbornness and realizing what his place in the world will be once he finally moves on from hockey. Retirement is something he's been dreading, and he wants his hockey legacy to have meant something. I think what this book did really well was the transition from enemies to lovers. They are so steadfast in their original perceptions and opinions of each other. So convinced of who the other person is that it was truly magical to watch those ideas unravel. As they got to know each other, they began to unpack the truth of who the other person really is. It was stunning to see their perception change. And so sweet when they realized they never really knew each other until after they got married. Now, I did miss a little bit of the side character elements that the other books had. There were moments where we got to see both characters' families. And we got to see Georgia with her soccer team. But there weren't as many scenes with previous characters as I had hoped. Especially in comparison to how much they featured in the previous 3 books. And I wanted more Rory and Hayden and Darcy and Hazel. I also wanted to see a little bit more of Jordan in this book, given that she is Georgia's best friend. They hardly ever interact here and she is such an amazing character, so yes, I am dying for her in Ward's book. Like OMFG. In the end, this book primarily focuses on the relationship between Georgia and Alexei. Another thing missing was that final closure moment with an ex. The trauma from both of their past relationships kind of hangs in the air. I wanted a bit more of that actual FU moment to the people who hurt them. Especially like we saw in the Fake Out and the Wingman. We didn't get that in Gloves Off. And Georgia and Alexei deserved better. Enemies dislike to lovers hockey romance workplace romance. Team Dr. X player marriage of convenience he falls first slow burn in surnames for nicknames. My wife look at me MMC wears glasses gets a tattoo for her 1-bedroom hockey jersey heat tending. To injuries hate sex in true Stephanie Archer fashion. This book is not going to let you down. It's a heartwarming story where learning that your original perception is not always right and that Someone is not necessarily who you thought they were. But don't expect these two to always be nice to each other. Thank you to Stephanie Archer for the gifted copy. All thoughts and opinions are my own. Christina Reeds, who has 85 likes, says, a marriage of convenience. One bed. Enemies to lovers. Possessive jealous hero. Hockey sports romance that has all the tropes and more. When I first read Stephanie Archer, it was behind the net and I knew that I would fall over heels for the rest of the series and her other books. This fourth installment in the Vancouver Storm series is a no-brainer, a must-read of this summer. Not only do we get a jealous possessive hero in the making, but we also get this badass of a heroine that truly strings your heart with her humbled ways about not only her upbringing, but also her future path. Alexei Georgia are the ultimate current power couple in this series, starting off on the wrong foot with ideas towards each other that are the total opposite. Georgia and Alexei throw sparks of chemistry through every page of this book. When life throws them together with a marriage of convenience, they are forced to live together and convene together for the sake of not only Alexei's immigration concern, but also Georgia's inheritance, in which she will only be able to recoup once she is married. Alexei slowly begins to truly see the real colors that is Dr. Georgia Green. She is not the material, high-maintenance woman he thought she was. Instead, she is a hard-working doctor who came from nothing and built a reputation for herself. She works at a hospital and is also the hockey team's doctor. One heck of a badass doctor, if you ask me. The same could be said about Alexei and the way Georgia thought of him from the beginning. Not only was she wrong about his grumpy exterior, but she also was wrong about his upbringing all along. Alexei, coming from a family of nothing as well, worked very hard thanks to the support of his mom and dad, whom he truly adores and look up, and is now a renowned hockey player. One that is close to retirement, once the sheets come off. Alexei Georgia get their emotions entangled as well as their mutual physical attraction. And not only does Alexei burn for this wife, but he truly becomes enamored by her. He cherishes her, takes care of her in ways that she would not expect, in ways that throws her for a loop and gets the walls of her heart broken down. Oh God. I think I might be developing a crush on my fake husband. Sharing a few months together has made Alexei realize the kind of life he wants to continue having with Georgia, the kind of retirement that he had been dreading for so long and is right around the corner, but did not expect to change now that Georgia is in his life. I like seeing her first thing in the morning with bedhead and a grumpy frown because I work her up. I like having people over to our home for dinner. I like cooking for her. And I definitely like overhearing her friends tease her about our relationship. And when time is up, they both strongly and mutually open up about each other's potent feelings of not only love, but respect and admiration. What I love about Stephanie's characters is that they know how to communicate. Even in the toughest times of their relationship, they don't hold things back. For the sake of the angst in a story, they do in the beginning. But at some point her characters learn how to read each other emotionally, physically. Here is hoping that we get a story for Coach Ward. And I can only tell who his love interest is going to be. Single father trope in the making as well, which I know will be melting the panties off of plenty of Stephanie's readers. Arc kindly provided by the publisher in exchange for an honest review. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, Facebook.